It's one of the most influential books in human history.
It explores the big questions of why we exist.
It's inspired many people to do amazing things.
And confused many others.
And you've probably got one sitting around somewhere.
So, what is the Bible actually?
Well, the Bible is a small library of books that all emerged out of the history of the people of ancient Israel. And in one sense, they were just like any other ancient civilization. But among them were a long line of individuals called prophets. And they viewed Israel's story as anything but ordinary. They saw it as a central part of what God was doing for all humanity. And these prophets were literary geniuses.
Really?
Yeah, they expertly crafted the Hebrew language to write epic narratives, very sophisticated poetry. They were masters of metaphor and storytelling, and they leveraged all of this to explore life's most complicated questions about death and life and the human struggle.
So, there's a lot of different authors writing this book.
Yeah, and these texts were produced over a 1,000-year period, starting with Israel's origins in Egypt, then leading up to their kingdom with their first temple. But eventually, they were conquered by the Babylonians, who took them away into exile. Then, at a crucial moment in their history, many Israelites returned to their land. They built a second temple, they reformed their identity, and this is when the Jewish scriptures began to form into the shape that we have them today.
Okay, the Jewish Bible. What's in it?
Well, in Hebrew, it's called by an acronym. T stands for Torah, sometimes called the Law. That's Israel's 5-book foundation. The N stands for the Hebrew prophets. This consists of historical books that tell Israel and prophets' point of view, the poetic books of themselves. The K stands for the Hebrew for writings. This is a collection of poetic books, wisdom, and more narrative. I believe that his literary works God to his people.
Now, other Jewish writings use secretary as well.
Yeah, really diverse groups, and these were high valued in Jewish communities. And there's debate from ancient time about whether or not these should be considered part of their churches.
So, it's a lot for a long period. Why did they believe this?
All of these texts were working through these people to bring order and beauty out of the chaos, and it all was to hope a new leader who would come and renew all creation. And then the Tanakh concludes, and this leader never comes.
So it's an expertly crafted work, but it's...
A prophet seen named Jesus of Nazareth. He claimed he was carrying the Tanakh story forward.
Yeah, so just did a bunch of cool stuff. But
This was that long story of the world. And his followers, they compiled literary works about these the gospel. They wanted to call Acts about the spread of the Jesus movement outside of Israel. And then they started different Jesus pieces all around the ancient world.
Now, the writings as part of the scripture.
Yeah, the apostles wrote the epic story in the Tanakh, and they were continued the literary genius of Jewish tradition. They also believed that God was speaking to his people through these texts alongside the scriptures of Israel.
That's the Old and New Testament. But what did the early Christians think of the other Second Temple literature?
Well, different groups had different views on these, but we know they read them and valued these texts because they passed them along with the Jewish scriptures.
Okay, so we've got the Tanakh, the Jewish scriptures. We got these other Second Temple period works. Then the writing of the apostles about Jesus. And that's a lot of literature, so what's in my Bible?
So the Christian movement has taken different forms over 2,000 years, and from the beginning, all Christians recognized the Tanakh and the New Testament as scripture. And for centuries, much of the Second Temple literature was read as part of the biblical tradition. The Catholic Church eventually made it official and called some of the books from this collection the Deuterocanonical books. Some Orthodox churches used even more books from this Second Temple literature. And then in the 1500s, during the Reformation, Protestant Christians wanted to go back to the oldest writings of the prophets and apostles, so they accepted only the Old and New Testaments.
Okay, I think I got it. But how does a collection of books produced over 1,000 years by all these different authors tell one unified story?
Yeah, that's the question we'll address in our next video.